or we're good?
Yeah.
Okay, so our current Paracentesis kit is out of stock, so we're getting a new kit in, and this is what it looks like. It's actually a better kit, but there's a couple of things Dr. Boyars and I want to show you about it. So first of all, when you open it up, it's going to look similar to the other kits. This kit is going to come with a couple of accessories, which are going to be great. So it does come with 2 bottles of lidocaine in the kit, which is great.
Total of 10 cc's.
Total of 10 cc's. It's got the cytology bag, the drape. This kit is going to come with a scalpel in it, so you don't need to get the scalpel separately, and then it has most of the other things in here. I'm going to take it apart and show a couple of other things. So there's 2 sharps. These will help you collect your sharps in a safer manner. If you look at the one that's got the triangles in it, it's got a sticker on the bottom. You can take it off, stick it into your kit, and it'll stay static there. That way you can put your needles into it as you're done with it. The other thing is it does come with a needle that's in a red, and this is going to be your hollow needle for filling up for lidocaine. Okay, so we're going to demonstrate how to use it and just a couple of things about it. So
then every time will be the same.
should we fill up the lidocaine? Sure. Okay, so we'll get the hollow needle to fill up the lidocaine. This kit does come with a Pleura-Prep as well for cleaning your skin.
So if you've never done this, this is very exciting. So get ready to be excited. If you fill up your syringe with 5 cc's of air and put it in, and then put the 5 cc's of air in, it'll fill itself up all by itself. The magic of science. So there you go. Get out the air.
Here's your finder needle.
Oh, thank you. Whoops. Well, there we go.
So this needle, we're recapping it because this is a simulation. You should never recap your needles. What you would do is stick it into here to keep it safe in your workspace, either into this one or into this one right here to keep it safe. And it'll get locked into this triangular one.
So then the patient is in reverse Trendelenburg. As you can see, there's the belly button. So this is inferiorly, and the head's up this way. And so if you do that and there's free fluid, it's going to be down here. And even when you're using ultrasound, it's always not a bad idea. Just going to put this down, which you wouldn't do before, and you percuss and see where the dullness is, so you get a feeling for what your ultrasound's going to be. Then I guess we're not going to use ultrasound. But
Normally you would, but for this video we won't right now.
So let's say we ultrasounded, we decided we're going here. Okay. So first thing you do is you put the lidocaine in. This is obviously a 21 or 22 gauge needle, and you just kind of go in sideways, and you raise a PPD like bleb, or pop the skin like I just did. And then you go perpendicular, and you go a little bit in, you aspirate, inject, a little bit further in, aspirate, inject, and you're looking for blood. You don't want to aspirate into a vessel, but the vessels are so small here, although in cirrhosis sometimes they get big. And then when you get into the belly, you'll see you'll aspirate, well, inject, and when you get in, see, so you can tell you're in now because you're filling up with air. Now sometimes there's a lot of edema. This needle may not do it.
And this kit does come with a standard finder needle that we found in the original kits as well. So you can find the fluid with either or both needles.
So if you get in with this one and you aren't getting it, it's all the way, if it's all the way in like this and you're not getting anything, then come out and put the other needle on. So
like I mentioned, this kit does come with the scalpel. So you would use your thumb to raise it up. And using this scalpel, you can remember a quick tip. A pro tip is to make a perpendicular incision down straight where you went in with your finder in order to make it easier to get the larger needle in. That way you're not, if you're tugging and pulling when you're getting it in, that's because you didn't make a line in there. So.
And as Dr. Sonstein did, you don't make an incision, you just go straight in. This blade, as you can see, it's like a V. So when you go in, you can see it'll, as deep as you go in, you'll get that incision. And if you don't do that, and don't forget to put it back down so you don't stick anybody, but if you don't do that, you're just going to have too much resistance and you'll be pushing it in. It'll be a lot more traumatic than it needs to be.
So the biggest difference in this kit from the old kit is this needle. So in this needle, the stop clock is already attached. This does not come off. The needle comes out of the back right here, in this sense. Now, one of the biggest design flaws with the kit that we discovered when we were testing it is once you take the needle out, it cannot be put back into this catheter. So you really want to be mindful of that as you're going in. The other thing about the kit is there's 2 tubing systems. It's not just one set of tubing like in the original kit. So you have one tubing that's called syringe pump system. This is going to be for cytology, and Dr. Boyars and I will show you how to use it. And the second one, which I think this is a really great thing about this kit, is the vacuum bottle tubing. So there's this tubing you connect to the vacuum bottle has its own needle, so you no longer have to use this big giant needle to connect it to the vacuum bottle. All right, so Dr. Boyars is going to get the fluid, and then we'll show you how to connect the tip. Remember, my tip is always to put a little air in your syringe as you're going in to allow you to have a little bit less pressure so you can be aspirating the whole time you're going in.
And also with old needles, you always want to at least do this, get it going, because when it stays in, it's a little bit more resistance to overcome it. So that's, always put a little bit in there. And then the thing about this is you want to go perpendicular. You want to go perpendicular, and so you look over here. This is off here, which means it's on here. So remember, you've already given with the lidocaine. Now, the one thing you don't want to do is when you put this in, you don't want to push like, oh, you can't do that. That's good.
Yeah, so it's a nice thing about this kit is it doesn't slip like the other kit does.
The old kits used to, if you push over here, this one kind of stays, which is good. So you can't slip this over the needle. Oh, that's
This needle as well has a lot more holes to drain from, which is nice, but that means you need to put it in past this black line. Otherwise, all those holes are kind of in the skin area and it'll occlude them.
Yeah. So that's where you were in. So you kind of go in now. Again, since you aspirated and on the way in you didn't get it, but it's okay to go in a little bit and aspirate, and go in a little bit and aspirate. Oop, see, we're there. My goodness, that was quick.
Yeah, in our man, we'll
Yes.
still want to advance him. So remember, the trick, once you find the fluid, you would go in another centimeter and then freeze your needle hand. This we all learned in sim, and advance the plastic further in.
Well, is the plastic
And
going to
this
advance?
one's, you hold this part and advance it in.
Oops.
So it,
I thought we
you need
were.
to put your needle in just a little bit more.
Well, I'm just going to take it out.
Yeah, we're gonna push, I'm just pushing a little. This is just because of our sim man, because his fluid is so easy to access on our mannequin here. And a real person, it wouldn't be that superficial.
And as you're doing, as Dr. Sonstein was doing, if you do it over here, not over here, it won't buckle as much.
See how he's holding the needle there, so we're not putting the needle in. And that's just plastic. So even if you hit the valve with that, it's just plastic, you're not gonna hurt anything. So then I'll be the assistant. We have the vacuum bottle tubing. It's got a little cap here you want to take off.
Right. So just as the thing, this is very easy. It can only go one place, right? It can only go there. Can't go there. Can't go there. So you just twist it onto there. Now the way it is now, this is off. So now the direction of flow is this way. So, and as was mentioned before, you have a needle here for the vacuum bottle. So it's already on. You don't have to where to put it. So what you do is, assuming there's a vacuum bottle, let's just say the vacuum bottle is, what happened? I screwed it off. The vacuum bottle is here. Now, you want to be careful. Where you want it off this way. You want it to flow this way, right? So this is off. So it's over there, and you see the fluids flowing. What you can do.
It's like IV tubing, so it's got a little valve, like a little roller. You can stop
slide
it.
compressor, so you can do that. Then you can put this in the vacuum bottle. Now, right now, this thing is off. This is just like somebody's pinched it off. And then you want to get it in. All you do is you roll this with your thumb, like this, And as it does that, it comes off the tubing and the fluid will roll and flow in. And this is it's like an 18 gauge needle. And so it'll be relatively rapid. And,
Now,
go ahead.
yeah, if you want to send cytology, there is a cytology bag in here. Now, I know a lot of you guys, what you do is send cytology either in one of these tubes or in a urine sample. And that's really not the right thing to do. Remember, cytology is looking for malignant cells. So the higher volume of fluid you send, the greater the yield of those malignant cells. So it's unlikely to yield cytology when you're just sending a few cc's. So you are going to want to spend the time, or use your medical students to help you, to fill up this entire bag. So we're going to disconnect that tubing, and I'm going to give Dr. Boyars the syringe pump system tubing. So it's separate tubing if you're doing cytology. If you're not doing cytology, just when you open your kit, take this out of the way so it doesn't get in your way and doesn't confuse you. So I'm going to open it for him. He's going to connect it.
You see, this has got one extra connector. So you can see, right, this.
The big fat one goes in the bag.
Right, it's the only one that'll fit in
Yeah.
here, okay? And so,
then the other kind of tip
Yeah.
about this is the one that's the wide, just think about leaving it, and the patient one is going to be the other end. So when you're going to put to the patient.
right, see, this is the filter there, but it's just going into the bag. This is the only thing left, goes to the,
That one's going to connect to the patient.
so just like over here, it's the only place it can go in. So it goes like this. And you see now on this, since you're going to be aspirating,
So you have to pump this. It doesn't drain to gravity automatically like the old kit. So you do have to pump it, old school, work on your muscles.
that's right. So this is off over here. This is to the patient. So what you want to do is you want to turn it this way so it flows this way. Where this arm is, that's where it doesn't flow. And then if you do that, you can just fill it up.
Aspirate, it fills up the syringe.
This is actually kind of fun. And on this one, I believe there's
you don't have to turn it. Yeah,
there's a valve in there, so you don't have to. You just kind of push right in, and you'll
you see it's coming into the bag now.
It's clear. It's not yellow, but it's coming into the bag. So that's really nice. So then you just sort of keep on going.
Keep going, open, and then back into the bag.
And this is a 60 cc syringe, so you can tell if you do 10 of these, you should have 600 cc's. And 10, you know, people with a lot of ascites, it goes just like this.
Yeah.
Except when it doesn't.
Yeah, yeah.
So anyway,
This is another option too. If you're out of vacuum bottles and you just want to drain more, just drain it into this bag.
yeah. So you just keep on doing this for as long as you need to do this. And again, this is just for cytopathology because that's the only thing where you need a large volume. Otherwise, it's just easier to do in the vacuum bottle. Let the vacuum do the work for you.
Mm-hmm.
When you're done, you know, you just pull this out.
The other thing is that, because I was wondering about this, I just tested it. So there's a valve here. So if you don't have to clamp this off like in the old ones. You see I'm turning it upside down and it's not draining out of that hole. So
Anyhow, so when you do that, and I don't know if it doesn't, I always rub, then you can put your Band-Aid, on it. But sometimes, particularly people with cirrhosis, they have such poor tissue integrity and everything, it'll keep on leaking through there. So if it keeps on leaking through there, sometimes what's the easiest thing to do, you can just put a dressing on it, but if it just soaks the dressing up too rapidly, you can just get a colostomy bag and just put that on there. And it'll eventually, a day or two or 3 or 4 later, will seal up.
So just remember, now that we have this needle out, this does not go back in there in any way, shape, or form. So once you've done that, you got to be very careful when you pull it all the way out.
Right.
Like how you see we were able to save ours. He was pushing it in, it was starting to kink. So before we pulled it all the way out, he was able to push the needle back in. But once it's out, it's done. So just know that. We're going to put it in our safety sharp thing here. And we're going to get rid of all of our sharps in a safe manner.